Hey there, happy Thursday afternoon. It's time for another Facebook Live with me, Leslie Dories, your marriage coach and creator of the Hero Husband Project. And Thursday afternoons is the day we talk marriage, so yay. And today I wanted to talk about, a subject that is near and dear to my heart, and that is how do we tell our partners that we love them in a way that they can understand? Now, it doesn't seem like it should be a complicated thing because basically the words I love you should say it all, but sometimes they don't, or sometimes you might not be really comfortable with saying them. And there are other ways that we can both show our love and receive our love. Now, maybe you've heard about something called the 5 love languages. It was a book by Gary Chapman, and it's kind of a simplistic way of thinking about love, but it's also can be a very helpful one because there are people whose love language are what he calls words of affirmation. Actually, the words that people use. So saying I love you, or you're wonderful, or thank you so much for going to the grocery store, or picking up the dry cleaning, or letting me sleep in, are ways that people experience love. There are other people who experience love through physical touch. So holding hands, or kissing, or sitting close on the couch. Those are ways, maybe back rubs, maybe just, as you walk by, you put your hand on your partner's shoulder. Those are the ways that that person knows that they're loved. One of mine is acts of service. And I love it when my husband does something for me. We have a rule in our house that whoever cooks, the other one cleans up. And it just has so happened that right now I tend to do most of the cooking, has to do with job schedules and things like that, and I just happen to be home more. And so usually my husband cleans up, which is great. I love it. So on the weekends, he tends to cook. And so on a Saturday, when I come into the kitchen to clean up the kitchen, because we don't always do it right after dinner, and the kitchen is clean, it's like, oh, he loves me. Or if he takes my car and has it washed, it's like, oh, the man loves me. And so that's my language. One of my other languages is quality time. So if your love language or your partner's love language is quality time, you want to spend good time together. And the last one is actual physical gifts. And I had a client many years ago who would get terribly, terribly upset because his wife did not give him birthday cards or anniversary cards. He didn't want big presents. He just wanted a card. And he really felt like she didn't love him because she didn't do this. Now, in her family growing up, cards weren't anything that was a big deal. So she didn't fully understand why this bothered him so much. But in his mind, what she was saying is, I don't really love you. Now, that didn't mean that she never said those words. It also didn't mean that she didn't express her love in different ways. He just didn't feel it or experience it in the way that was most important to him. And this is where we get into trouble a lot of ways, because what we will do is we will express our love in the way in which we most want to receive it. And so there is a clue right there as to what your partner's love language is. So if your partner is always giving you compliments or actually telling you that they love you, that may be a clue that that's their language. Or if they're constantly trying to touch you, that may be their language. If they do lots of things for you, that might be their language. And your language might be different. And this is where the problem comes in, because like real regular language. We speak the language that we learned, with the language that's our primary language. And speaking and understanding another language really is foreign to us. So there's a little quiz you can take to find out what your love languages are, which is a good thing to do. And also just pay attention. Or you can do the obvious and ask your partner, which is always a good way to do it. But love, showing love, receiving love, experiencing love is more than just words. And so if your partner's love language is not words of affirmation, while words will be nice, there's going to be something missing. I like gifts, but if my husband never bought me another thing ever again, I'd be okay. But if he stopped doing things, that's when I would start to feel like he didn't love me. So take this, run with it. If you have any questions about how to figure it out, then just shoot me, put a comment down below or shoot me an email and let me know. And this is a really important thing. And by the way, it works with your kids too, or anybody else that you love, because everybody has their own love language. So hopefully that was helpful. And until next week, stay loving.